singles match between you and I. Ref never saw Hitman Boogie on the slide. No low blow, but distraction at its best. Hit you with a chest shot as I spear you through your chest. Get the win with the pin while you lying there. Forgetting the bad guys never play fair. Raising our hands, knowing we the top heels. This is business for us. It's the contract kill. It's a contract kill. It's the contract kill. Knowing we the top heels. It's a contract kill.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? Welcome back to another wonderful ass episode of The Contract Kill, where we give petty takes and powerbomb opinions. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy, the living legend, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be, Hitman Boogie, okay, Mr. Fresh Out of Fox. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead, man. Y'all already know what it is. It's the Royal Rumble Fallout. You know, we're going to be asking the hard-hitting questions. You know what I'm saying? My first gut reaction. Shout out to, you know, my man Roman Reigns for actually winning the Royal Rumble and not getting booed this time. You know what I'm saying? But fresh off reactions, man. What else? Obafemi definitely dominated in the Rumble. But we're going to get on into all that in just a few. You know what I'm saying? But first, I do want to say, man, make sure you grab 3BN merch, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the 3 Blur Network. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you grab that merch. Matter of fact, I'm gonna roll a video for y'all so we all can get it. You know what I'm saying? And we'll be right back. Wrong video. Fucking up. You fucking up already, Boogie. That's right, man. Make sure you copy your 3BN merch. You know what I'm saying? Especially because, you know, BlurCon's coming up soon. We're going to be making a trip to BlurCon for 3 Blur Beats. But this is, you know what I'm saying? So make sure you grab that. Also, please, if you can, if you watch it right now, make sure you scan that QR code right there. You know what I'm saying? That lovely QR code. And make sure you scan that to go right to Redbubble, right to get your merch. Y'all already know what it is. So we're going to go ahead, man. Listen, one word to describe the Rumble. In my opinion, all right. It was predictable. All right, we're gonna definitely get into everything that happened in detail in just a few moments. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into the thick of things. We're gonna break it down real quick. The men's Royal Rumble. So first off the docket, the winner of the men's Royal Rumble, of course, my man, the Tribal Chief. Put your ones to the sky for Roman Reigns, of course, man. Shout out to Roman for definitely winning the Rumble. In my opinion, it was a safe bet. People probably think otherwise. Somebody else should have won it. Somebody younger, Bron Breakker. As much as I love Bron Breakker, I don't think it was necessary for him to win just yet, because Bron Breakker is your main event for WrestleMania for the next 10 to 15 years. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Bron Breakker is your next main event for the next 10 to 15 years. But it does bring back some things for Roman Reigns. You know what I'm saying? It does bring back some. He's run it twice now. So shout out to Roman for winning the Royal Rumble twice. So that's a good thing. We all, you know what I'm saying? Only I think guys like Shawn Michaels, John Cena, Stone Cold won it 3 times. Cody Rhodes won it back to back. So Randy Orton won it twice. Triple H, I believe, won it twice. So shout out to Roman Reigns for, you know what I'm saying, making history with his second Royal Rumble win. And like I said before, this time he didn't get booed. So that's always a great thing, because he even mentioned it on his Raw promo that, you know what I'm saying, it was a little different. Him winning, you know what I'm saying, that time compared to the first time he won, when even The Rock couldn't save him, and The Rock was looking around the ring like, they not booing me, they booing you, cut. But shout out to Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble, man. And I think this was the right call for everything that's going on, because honestly, it left the fans going home happy. And from a booking standpoint, I don't see anybody else right now that. Let me rephrase that. I think Roman winning the Rumble was a safe bet, because I think if anybody else would have won it, it wouldn't have been the reaction that they got. You know, not just from the live crowd, but from the IWC as a whole. From the internet wrestling community as a whole, and the wrestling community as a whole, pretty much, you know, I'm not gonna say loved that Roman won, but understood and liked it from a booking standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Even though, you know, the IWC has been very critical of Triple H's booking for the last 2 years, because the man's booking it's not terrible. Okay, I'm gonna say this, and this might be a controversial take, but I don't give a fuck. The reason we hate Triple H's booking is because it's not Vince's. I'm gonna say that again. The reason we hate Triple H's booking is because it's not the old man McMahon. Because we have gotten so used to what Vince does as a crowd and as a fan base, that, you know, I mean, it's a died down version of what Vince used to do, if you understand what I'm trying to say. Like, what Triple H does is a died down version of what Vince used to do. You know what I'm saying? It's predictable. It's not engaging enough. Like, it's given, like, what was that? Like 08? Between like 08 and 2012, where they was doing the guest hosting and shit for fucking Raw guest host, so they can get the ratings up. I know y'all remember that. Terrible. Bob Barker was the host of Raw. That was awesome. He treated the shit out of Chris Jericho. But moving right along, man. Final Four analysis. Roman Reigns. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, y'all. Give me 1 second here. Roman Reigns, Gunther, Randy Orton, and Logan Paul. Now, Randy, we don't know how many years Randy has left. It would have been his 3rd chance to win the Rumble. We don't know how many years Randy's got left. You know what I'm saying? Logan Paul being in there within the Final Four was actually pretty interesting. Of course, you know, with the rumors, you know, going around that, you know, he's the masked man that attacked Bron Breakker in the big, you know, when Bron Breakker was making his entrance. There's a lot of rumors out there that saying Logan Paul is the one that did it. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty interesting to see what exactly people are, you know, talking about. You know what I'm saying? So it honestly, Logan Paul being in the Final Four, it doesn't bother me as much as it would like 2 years ago, when he first came to the WWE. I understand. It's cool. I understand. That makes sense for him to, you know, be in the Final Four. One member of the division had to be, you know. So it looks like honestly, I see what people are talking about with the whole Logan Paul being the one that attacked Bron Breakker. I understand. It looked from the picture, you know what I'm saying? It looked like it. But I don't know. I don't know about that. But on to the other two, you know what I'm saying? Of course, obviously, Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble. So, once again, congratulations to Roman Reigns. But also, Gunther. Can't believe I'm saying this. After retiring AJ Styles, came out number 30, was one of the last ones to get eliminated. I think he was the last one to get eliminated. Yeah, he was the last one to get eliminated. Yeah, Roman Reigns. Yeah. He was last. He was in the last two. I think personally, this is just like something that we've seen with the Women's Royal Rumble the past couple of years, where Gunther is always the bridesmaid and never the bride. So I think honestly, within the next couple of years, I can see Gunther winning a Royal Rumble. I can definitely see him winning a Royal Rumble because, I mean, it's Gunther. He's the career killer. You know what I'm saying? He retired John Cena. He retired Goldberg. He retired AJ Styles. He's probably going to retire Randy Orton. That is something, I mean, that's something that we got to think about, y'all. Gunther might retire Randy Orton. Let's think about that for a second. Like the career killer versus the legend killer. You know what I'm saying? Versus the apex predator, versus the viper. You know what I'm saying? The ring general. That's something to think about. Put that in the cap. You know what I'm saying? Put that in the cap. So, surprise entrance. You know, some of the surprise entrants really weren't a surprise. The fact that Finn Balor wasn't in the Royal Rumble, but Mr. Iguana was, kind of just, yeah. That speaks for itself. You feel me? The fact that Mr. Iguana was in there, but Finn Balor was not, speaks for itself. Once again, Triple H told us, oh, it's a new era. It's going to be a huge surprises and all this other. Nothing really happened. Nothing really happened, bro. That's like going up to you, you know what I'm saying, talking shit to your girl through text messages, and you only lie 5 seconds when y'all meet up. Hit it and quit. You know what I'm saying? Like 2 pump chump. Like that's the equivalent it's given. Because every time there's a new pay-per-view, well, not a new pay-per-view, but a new, like every time there's a big PLE, a big 4, oh, this starts a new era. It starts a new thing. There's gonna be surprises, and it's the same shit. Now I will say, the one surprise, Powerhouse Hobbs, aka Royce Keys. That one surprised me. Also, Oba coming out number 1, that definitely surprised me. Oba being number 1, you know what I'm saying, definitely surprised me. Definitely was a huge thing, because also I'm kind of mad that we didn't get Bron Breakker versus Oba, but You can ask my brother. I did call it. I was like, Oba gonna be number 1. And Bron Breakker's gonna be number 2. Well, Bron Breakker was announced number 2 before the show, if you don't know. But I think, in all honesty, that it was actually kind of great. You know what I'm saying? Obafemi coming out number 1. You know what I'm saying? Kicking ass, taking names. Like, bro, that man is a monster. That man's a beast. You know what I'm saying? So, like, my thing is, you know, with Oba, he also is your, you know, main eventer for the next 10 to 15 years, yo. Like, for real, he's definitely a main eventer. And they're pushing him to be a monster, and I hope they keep pushing him to be the monster that he is, because the ruler is a great talent. But back to my boy Royce Keys real quick. You know, everybody knew, you know, the rumors, of course, everybody knew that Powerhouse Hobbs was leaving AEW, and was going to WWE. But for him to have, you know, his debut at the Royal Rumble, and for him to have that type of pop, you know what I'm saying, not just not just live, but all over social media, everybody was watching, you know what I'm saying, like, to have that, it's pretty great. That's pretty great. That says a lot, you know what I'm saying, about what they can do with him, you know what I'm saying, his star potential, you know, that I'm not gonna shit on AEW, but they didn't, how can I put this? I'm trying to find the word. AEW didn't push him enough. You know, they didn't push him enough, and he stayed stagnant for a while. Honestly, he stayed stagnant up until pretty much the end. With Samoa Joe and Hook and Shibata, you know. But that was a great debut for him, obviously. A lot of people were weirded out by the name change, and it's a real. They were weirded out about the name change, but if you look at the story behind it, it's really significant, and I like it. He wasn't coming in as Powerhouse Hobbs, but Powerhouse Royce Keys, it got a ring to it. Put it on a t-shirt. Also, if you watched Raw the next night, it does kind of look like maybe Royce Keys is going to NXT, possibly. So there's that. You know what I'm saying? So can't wait for that. See what he does in NXT. And shout out to all the NXT wrestlers that, you know, showed up for the Royal Rumble. I think it was more NXT women's, more in the women's Royal Rumble that they showed up. We're definitely gonna be talking about the women's Royal Rumble. Like, honestly, I think, I ain't gonna lie, I'm a huge Bron Breakker fan. I think Bron Breakker got robbed. I'm gonna say it. Like, I think Bron Breakker got robbed of actually entering the being a part of the Rumble as long as he could have. But I understand storyline wise why they did it, and it makes sense. I necessarily didn't appreciate it, but I understand. You know what I'm saying? But as a Bron Breakker fan, that was some bullshit. Paul. Some bullshit. But yeah, what else? Honestly, shout out to Obafemi for having the, you know what I'm saying, his shout out to Obafemi for having, you know what I'm saying, a great Rumble, actually. You know what I'm saying? He was doing great. And then the great Black Killer. I mean, Brock Lesnar eliminated him. Brock Lesnar also eliminated Ilya the Dragunov in the funniest way possible. I think Lesnar didn't like the fact that Ilya chopped him so hard. Because if you saw him, Brock immediately went, "Ah, what the fuck is wrong with you?" You know what I'm saying? So and then he tossed him out the ring. But I think Oba's performance in the Royal Rumble definitely proves like he's a main event star. He's a beast. He's a monster. He's a main event star. He's gonna go places. He's gonna be WWE or WWE champion within the next 2 to 3 years. I guarantee it. And honestly, I could possibly see him being a world champion next year. If they do it right. If they put it right, I can definitely see him being a world champion next year. 2027. Mark your calendars, people. So mark your calendars. You know what I'm saying? So mark your calendars. So, you know, hey. All right. So usually here on the Contract Kill, we have buy, sell, or hold stock on certain wrestlers, on certain situations that are going on. So I'm gonna buy stock in Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble because, like I said before, it was a safe option. Was it the right option? Yeah, for what they're doing, yeah. But we'll have to see what happens between now and WrestleMania to see how this build-up is going to be. Also, Drew McIntyre is still one of my favorite haters. I love Drew McIntyre. He said, "Cody, you ain't winning shit," and eliminated Cody Rhodes from the Royal Rumble. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be a story that probably takes over to Elimination Chamber or WrestleMania, probably. But hear me out though. Hear me out. What if Jacob Fatu ends up winning the WWE Championship at WrestleMania? No one wants to talk about that. No one wants to talk about Jacob Fatu winning. Just saying. Just saying. So one underwhelming performance, Mr. Iguana. I'm sorry, Mr. Iguana should not have been in the damn match. I love my comedy wrestling. As a wrestling fan, as a mark myself, I love my comedy wrestling. I love it. But Finn Balor wasn't in the Royal Rumble, but Mr. Iguana was. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I have to say about that, bro. Mr. Iguana was in the Royal Rumble, and Finn Balor was not. You can't convince me otherwise. Finn Balor shouldn't have been in the Royal Rumble. So, we'll see. And here's the real question. I want to actually ask you guys. With Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble, are we as wrestling fans emotionally invested in Roman Reigns going after another title? Are we emotionally, invested in that? So just let me know. Let me know in the comments. So, moving on to the Women's Royal Rumble. Man, listen. start making performances in the Women's Royal Rumble. First off, shout out to the winner, Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan, you know, always, like they said, Liv Morgan has always been a bridesmaid, never a bride. You know, she's always finished in the top 4, top 3, top 2 the past couple of years. She finally won one. And if you saw Raw, she attacked, you know, she did say that she was going to go to SmackDown and check out the competition. She did attack Stephanie McCure after Stephanie McCure successfully defended her title, which was kind of great. That match was great. But Raquel just, I don't know, Raquel kept messing up for some, I don't know, it was just botchy as hell. But yeah, Liv Morgan did attack Stephanie McCure after, you know, the match. And then with the whole Judgment Day storyline, you know, eliminated Raquel from the Rumble and pretty much cost Raquel a shot at the title. And now Liv Morgan's talking about going to SmackDown and scoping out the competition, which currently the WWE Women's Champion is, of course, Jade Cargill. Which I don't think you want them problems, Liv. Don't think you want them problems. But hey, Liv's a former WWE Women's Champion. You know what I'm saying? So Liv can handle it. Honestly, shout out to Liv Morgan, because honestly, if you would have told me 3-4 years ago, you know what I'm saying, she would be like, if you would have told me like back in 2021, 2022, if you would have told me back then she would be this over and one of the top WWE women's superstars, I probably wouldn't believe it. But she has worked her ass off, and shout out to her for winning. The Final Four, excuse me. You know what I'm saying? The Final Four for the women's, of course, was Liv Morgan, Sol Ruca, Lash Legend, and the returning Tiffany Stratton. Now, I'm going to just get this out the way. Shout out to Lash Legend, future main eventer. I don't care what you say. I don't care how y'all treat her. You know what I'm saying? Like, first off, I'm going to be real. The fans, the live fans really disrespected Lash Legend for no reason. I'm not going to go into detail for what that reason is, for obvious reasons. But y'all disrespected her for no reason at all, but that one reason. That's all I'm gonna say about it. But shout out to Lash Legend for making an impact on the Royal Rumble. They are putting the rocket on her back, and she's going to be a star in this business. She is going to be a star for WWE for years to come. And y'all better get ready, because Lash is coming. She already proved to y'all that she's athletic, she's strong, she's beautiful, like she can talk. She needs, you know what I'm saying, of course, she needs a little, you know what I'm saying, a little polishing, but she is going to be an absolute star in the future. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, you got my girl Sol Ruca being in the final 3. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sol. She did her thing. You know what I'm saying? That was awesome. That was absolutely awesome right there. You know what I'm saying? To see Sol hitting, like, I think she hit like 2 or 3 Soul Snatchers in the match. She hit a double Soul Snatcher, but the Stone Snatcher did get her eliminated from the Royal Rumble. Went to the well one too many times, so, but I respect it because it works. You feel me? So, shout out to Sol Ruca. You know, people don't understand, man. Like yeah. Shout out to Soul Ruka. Also, returning Tiffany Stratton. I think Tiffy's probably gonna go after, you know what I'm saying, her title once again. Maybe. You know, she did lose to Jade, and she is back. So Tiffany might, you know, get that title back. You never know. You never know. But once again, shout out to Liv Morgan for winning the Royal Rumble. You know what I'm saying? The Women's Royal Rumble. And accomplishing that. And honestly, that is awesome because to see how far Liv Morgan has come as a superstar, as a professional wrestler, you know, as a talent, is freaking awesome. You know, I remember when she was in NXT, you know what I'm saying, I remember when she was with the Riot Squad, you know what I'm saying, like, shit like that. Like, a lot of people did not like Liv Morgan back in the day, but, like, she is over like sin, bro. And it's great to see, like, her hard work paying off in big ways. Not only has she been WWE champion, but she can add Royal Rumble winner to her accolades. And quiet is kept. I don't care what people think about what I'm about to say. Liv Morgan to me is a future Hall of Famer. Don't give a damn. Don't care. She's top 10 women's wrestlers today. I don't care what you say. You can scold me all you want to. Don't give a damn. It's my opinion, not yours. But also, man, okay, I'll say this. The 1 and 2, Charlotte and Alexa. Jesus, can we just, in all honesty, can we just break them up already? Can we break them up already? Just break them up already, man. Like, honestly, Alexa works good as a face. She's good. She's great. Charlotte as a face, not so good. Not so good. Like, I feel like Charlotte fits more of the heel role. Also, you know what I'm saying, we got to see Natty in the Rumble, not Natalya, Natty. You know what I'm saying? Natty in the Rumble. So that was good to see. Ugh. Ouch. What's going on, Plush? What's good with you? But yeah, I mean, shout out to, you know, all the NXT women that showed up. You know what I'm saying? Kalani Jordan, Lola Vice, like I previously mentioned, Soul Ruka. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them for showing up and showing out. You know, I'm sorry, JC Jane. You know what I'm saying? Just shout out to her. Oh, we're talking about wrestling and the Royal Rumble. You know what I'm saying? Of course, because it's contract kill. What else would we talking about? But shout out to NXT Women's Champion JC Jane for doing her thing in the Royal Rumble. You know, that just proves that NXT has a bright future, and all those superstars that you saw from NXT have a bright future in WWE or elsewhere, just in case. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they really did their damn thing. You know, and it really shows that NXT is really building something that is great. They're really building something that's great. And we have to admire that. And I'm going to go on the record and say it, if you haven't seen the Contract Kill hot takes on my Instagram and my TikTok, why are you not following me on Instagram and TikTok? First of all, Hitman Boogie, follow me. Yeah. But like I said there, why is it that Shawn Michaels is the best booker in professional wrestling right now? He arguably has the best women's division. Just saying. So, man, it boggles my mind why people don't understand that. Like, yeah. So, I honestly, do I think the star power for the men's rumble did somewhat upstage? Of course, it's gonna obviously upstage the women's, but I think the women's Royal Rumble was much more cleaner and overall a better match. In my opinion, you know, some people might disagree. I don't give a fuck. It's my opinion. It's my show. I say what I want. You know, it feels like a lot of people, you know, shitted on the Women's Royal Rumble match. I don't know why, but it doesn't make sense. I think so. Here's a contract kill question for the audience, for you guys. You know what I'm saying? If you're watching this back or listening to this on Spotify, which Three Blurred Ninjas Network is on Spotify, you can check out every episode of the Contract Kill on Spotify. So make sure you check out Spotify, Three Blurred Ninjas Network. The last season 1, episode 1, last episode last week with Rose is already up on Spotify. So make sure y'all check that out. Three Blurred Ninjas Network on Spotify. Check out the Contract Kill, and as well as old podcast episodes of Three Blurred Ninjas podcast, as well as Three Blurred Beats and the Tigers Den. So please make sure y'all check out Three Blurred Ninjas Network on Spotify to listen to the podcast anytime. But so yeah, man, I think honestly, here's the killer question for you guys. Who actually gained momentum coming out the Rumble? That's the question. Who actually gained momentum out of the Royal Rumble? Little slip up there, y'all. But who actually gained momentum out of the Royal Rumble? And I'm going to give my opinion, but I want to hear y'all's opinion in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Of course, y'all watching on YouTube, please make sure you like, subscribe, click that notification bell, get all the notifications for Three Blurred Ninjas Network, as well as the Contract Kill podcast. And as well, you know what I'm saying, I'll do upload, you know, wrestling reactions, you know, so make sure y'all check that out so y'all get all the notifications that y'all, you know what I'm saying, yeah, cool. So, honestly, I'll say, I'll give a couple of answers. Like, excuse me. Like I stated previously, Lash Legend, of course. Sol Ruka. Liv Morgan definitely has momentum coming out of the Royal Rumble. For the men's side, Roman Reigns, obviously, because he's winning. He is a person, even though they did get eliminated, I think has momentum. Jacob Fatu. Also, Oba. Yeah, Oba has momentum. Even though he lost, his other win helped him gain momentum coming out the Rumble. Gunther. So we'll see with that, you know, where that goes. What everybody wants to do with that should be something. Because that man deserves another championship. I don't care what anybody says. So, you know, it honestly, the Royal Rumble matches were great this year. The winners weren't as predictable as they've been in the past years. You know what I'm saying? And I think they made the right call with both Rumbles. That's my take. I think they made the right call with both Rumbles. And once again, much respect to the two winners, Roman Reigns and Liv Morgan. So moving on, man. All right. We had two we had a title match. Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. Of course, Sami Zayn going into the match undefeated in Saudi Arabia, amongst his people. And he has never beaten Drew McIntyre. This match to me was great. It was great. It was a great storytelling match because you have the champion and you have the ultimate underdog. You know what I'm saying? You have the champion and the ultimate underdog. Sami Zayn has only had one other shot at the WWE WWE Championship, Undisputed Championship, and that was against Roman Reigns. A while back after he turned on him. You know what I'm saying? After he turned on the Bloodline for good reasons. After they beat the crap out of Kevin Owens. Y'all remember? So this was a back and forth David versus Goliath, champion versus ultimate underdog. Will Sami prevail? Will he complete the story? Will he do what he has to do to win? Couldn't get it done. I honestly liked what happened during the match. You know what I'm saying? Sami put up a good fight. He showed people, hey, I'm here. Sami, I'll say this. It is the classic chase scenario. Because a lot of people don't understand that when it comes to wrestling, the chase is always better than what comes after. Case in point, Cody Rhodes. The 2 years that Cody Rhodes tried to win the WWE Undisputed Championship and complete the story was awesome. It was like The Miz. Awesome. Because the build to him winning was spectacular because everybody was behind him. Everybody was behind him. And I honestly think that's what they're going to do with Sami Zayn eventually. Do I think Sami Zayn is going to win the WWE Undisputed Championship? No. They might give him the World Heavyweight Championship. If they do give him the WWE Undisputed Championship, that's even more better. But I think if they actually go through with giving him the WWE Undisputed Championship, it's going to have to be a multi-year build. It's going to have to be a build over a year for him to get it. And why I say that is because Sami Zayn is probably one of the most over baby faces that WWE has right now. He's loved all over the world. People, when his music, he gets a pop every time his music hits, and people want to cheer for him. You don't want to hate Sami Zayn unless your name is John. Like it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't understand. Like, I think the chase would be better for Sami if he went after the world title. Because that right there, the world title has always been the worksman's title. That's always been the workhorse title. So I think him going after the workhorse title would be beneficial. But he's currently on SmackDown. Maybe that changes. Who knows? But Sami Zayn definitely does deserve a world championship at some point. It just wasn't going to be right then and there against Drew McIntyre. Now, once again, going back to the booking, Triple H took a page out of Vince's book, because who else was he trained by? Who else was he under the tutor? Who did he learn from? He learned from Vince. So, with him learning from Vince, pretty much once they put in there that, you know, oh, he hasn't beaten Drew McIntyre, I was like, oh, so Drew's gonna lose, probably. But once I heard that once he said he has never lost to Saudi Arabia, I kind of knew. The writing was kind of on the wall for that one. You know what I'm saying? Because once you say you're like undefeated in your hometown or home country or whatever the case may be, WWE is going to find a way to beat you. They're going to make you lose. They're going to make you lose to get heat on whoever you're wrestling. We've seen this multiple times with Sami Zayn. Hell, when he faced Roman Reigns, it was in his home country of Canada. I think they were in Montreal, if I'm not mistaken. They were in his hometown. So you can't knock it. It makes sense. You know, it makes total sense. But I think the match was great. If I had to rate it, I'd give it like 4.5 stars. You know what I'm saying? For not just the match quality, but the storytelling in the match. You know, because you got to tell a story. And they told a story. They told a story in the ring because obviously Drew McIntyre, you know, it's like, man, I beat you 11 times we faced off, and you haven't won once. I think it was like 11. Well, if it is 11, that was 12. And it has to be. And in order, like, honestly, I think this could be the catalyst for it. You know, Sammy probably taking a step back, you know, finding other ways to be, you know, to be WWE champion, to win a championship. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. I say stay tuned. We'll see with Roman Reigns. with Sami Zayn. We'll see what happens. You know, what they do, where they go from here, because, you know, SmackDown is going to be very interesting, because, you know, we got Liv Morgan coming to SmackDown, you know, to see if she wants to challenge Jade Cargill. We got, you know, Cody Rhodes probably is going to confront Drew McIntyre about eliminating him from the Royal Rumble. You still got Jacob Fatu roaming around there. You know, we might get an appearance from Oba Femi, because Oba Femi's still a free agent, you know, within the company. He can sign with either Raw or SmackDown if he wants to. So it's getting there, y'all. We getting there. So we're fully impactfully on the road to WrestleMania. So I hope we're ready for this ride. I hope they do good with this ride. You feel me? So also, and then we have Gunther versus AJ Styles. AJ loses. He retires. Well, people, AJ Styles, the phenomenal AJ Styles, did lose. Overall, great match. It told a wonderful story. It told that man did not want to give up. He did not want to quit. He did not want to retire. He wanted to spend all of 2026, you know, wrestling his dream opponents and doing all this stuff like John Cena did. But I think low key, what a lot of people didn't realize was we slowly got the AJ Styles retirement, the retirement showcase, before the match, with his matches with Punk and guys like Punk, and him going back to TNA, and him having a match with I'm drawing a blank. I'm sorry, Shinsuke Nakamura. One of his greatest adversaries throughout his career. Him going to going to TNA. To confront Frankie Kazarian. For he had his title match a couple of weeks ago. Honestly, I wasn't prepared for AJ to go. You know what I'm saying? In all honesty, it makes me kind of feel some type of way because, granted, you know what I'm saying? Like, granted, I'm a 90s baby and I grew up watching wrestling in the 90s, correct? You know what I'm saying? Guys like I used to watch guys like Undertaker, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold, The Rock, guys like that. But I knew those guys were going to retire eventually. But actually seeing guys like John Cena, and, this year Samoa Joe said he's got 1 year left. Guys like John Cena, AJ Styles, guys that I like in my heyday of watching wrestling, like the heyday of me watching wrestling, when I watched TNA, when I watched WWE Monday Night Raw, like those guys retiring kind of hits different. You know what I'm saying? Like, because shout out to AJ for a career. That was awesome. But this does cement. I think this cements Gunther as the career killer. And he's the career killer. Pretty much. He ends careers. He ends our hopefuls' careers. Like he ended Goldberg's career, which Goldberg's career was over after he left WCW, but that's just my opinion. After WCW folded. That was when his career was over. But yeah, ending the career of John Cena the way he did and going about the way he did it, and this is a big up for Gunther because now Gunther is your biggest heel on the roster no matter what. No one is getting more heat. No one is getting booed more than Gunther. Probably Logan Paul, but that's a different story. But like Gunther is that guy. Gunther is the guy. He's your heel. He's your main attraction heel. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Gunther. It was a great match. If I had to rate it, I'm gonna be real. 5 stars. The quality of the match was great. It really showed that, like, honestly, for me, it showed how much AJ really had left in the tank. Because AJ Styles, if he wanted to, could do this for 3-4 years more. You know what I'm saying? If he wanted to. So I think it was a classic. You got to go out looking up at the lights. Shout out to AJ Styles for a wonderful, wonderful career, and shout out to Gunther for another impressive win. If I had to rate it, I'd give it 5 stars because the match quality as well as the storytelling was absolutely, and no pun intended, phenomenal. So it really was. It really was phenomenal. So we'll take a little break right quick. Man, if you are going to BlurCon, please make sure, you know what I'm saying, you check out Three Blurred Beats. You know what I'm saying? Beats, bars, and blurs where hip-hop meets anime and fandom. March 6th through the 8th, BlurCon is March 6th through the 8th. We will be presenting our panel March 6th at 3:30 p.m. If you are going to BlurCon, please make sure you check the guidebook, put it down, show up, show out, because there's going to be plenty of laughs, plenty of jokes, plenty of chaos. Only Three Blurred Beats can bring you, baby. You know? I can't wait, man. It's a month away. You know? So, getting into further things, with the fallout of the Royal Rumble, you know, we got Roman Reigns coming to Raw, and apparently he challenged CM Punk. Him and CM Punk had an epic back and forth promo battle, and Roman Reigns said, "I'm challenging you in the main event at WrestleMania for your World Heavyweight Championship, not because I want the championship, because I hate you." He said, "I hate you. I've always hated you." It was like, damn, you hate him? What you hate him for? No. But I think that's the right way to go. And I think Roman's probably going to win. I think Roman's going to win. So one swerve I think WWE might pull is Raquel costing Liv her WWE or her championship spot. I think probably at Mania is when the Judgment Day kind of explodes. It implodes on itself. I think Raquel turns. I think Finn goes his own way, and then I think Raquel turns face. Or possibly you could have, Liv win and then Raquel take the belt away from her. But I will say, I told my brother this, when we were watching it. This feud is definitely this build up to a feud. This partnership between Liv and Raquel is definitely giving Diesel and Shawn Michaels. Just saying, even though, just because, they call her Big Mommy, Big Mommy Cool, but yeah, it's definitely giving Diesel and Shawn Michaels back in the day. The cool dudes with attitude, whatever. Yeah. Two dudes with attitude, whatever. So I want to ask y'all, and leave it in the comments, what's a swerve that y'all would like to see, but WWE won't pull it? And for me, that would be Jacob Fatu winning the WWE Undisputed Championship at WrestleMania. In the main event, night 2 at WrestleMania. No, well, Roman's gonna be night 2. My bad. Night 1, Jacob Fatu winning the WWE Undisputed Championship in a triple threat between him, Drew McIntyre, and Cody Rhodes. You want to get him over as your powerhouse main eventer? That's the perfect way to do it. You have him beat the current WWE Undisputed Champion, and you have him beat one of the faces of the company. You know what I'm saying? One of the faces of the company. Because, I would have him do that because, nobody would expect it. unless you're a Jacob Fatu fan, like me. So I do have a quick fan question for y'all out there. You know what I'm saying? If y'all listening, you know what I'm saying? Leave it in the comments. What's the most realistic Mania main event right now, in your opinion? Just let me know. Let me know. And we'll, you know what I'm saying? We'll just let me know in the comments. And we'll see. I'll be replying to it. So, oh man. So, all right, y'all. It's time for my final verdict about the Royal Rumble as a whole. As a whole, I give it 4 stars. It was between 3.5 and 4 stars, but I give it 4 because of the AJ and Gunther match. I'll give it 4. You know, I think, you know, one thing that WWE did nail with this was the Women's Royal Rumble winner. Absolutely nailed it. Another thing WWE nailed, that I will say they nailed harder than the winners of the matches, is showcasing the future talent that WWE has to offer. And not just in the men's, but mostly the women's Royal Rumble match, showcasing the future of the women's division in WWE. You know, showcasing that the women's roster is in great hands. Great hands. Because you got guys like women like Kalani Jordan, JC Jane, Jordan Grace, Sol Ruka, you know what I'm saying? The preview mentioned Liv Morgan, who's already a star in the main roster. You know what I'm saying? You know, Last Legend, even though she's already on the main roster, she's still green on the main roster, but she's still new to the main roster. So, I mean, you got women like that that are going to take this division to a whole new level once they get started. And it's going to be great. And I think that's the one thing I love about, that's the one thing that they did hit on, that WWE definitely hit on with the Royal Rumble. One thing they did not hit on, promises and surprises. The Royal Rumble is normally known for its like callbacks, its surprises, its returns, its debuts. We had a couple of them, but not what we're used to. You know, there were a couple of rumblings about who would be there, who would show up, you know. But I think what WWE has to get back to is doing that. Having the fans go, oh, shit. Also, one thing that I think really kind of threw me for a loop is in the Women's Royal Rumble, all the like stars, the main event stars that you think would be, were coming out earlier in the Rumble, which is okay, but it kind of threw me for a loop. You know, it threw me off a little bit. But the one thing I will say, they have to get back to what made the Royal Rumble fun, and those are the surprises that we see. You know, the callbacks, the returns, the debuts. You know what I'm saying? Hall of Famers coming back out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when Roddy Piper came back at the Royal Rumble in Madison Square Garden. You know, just those type of things, like you just don't expect. You know, But yeah, I think they hit on a lot, and I think they missed on a couple. So we'll definitely see. Yeah. So the Royal Rumble is over. Now we see who can survive the contract. This WrestleMania season is going to be very interesting. The booking is going to be very interesting to see what happens. Of course, starting Monday, this upcoming Monday, we got the Elimination Chamber qualifying matches. We got those coming up. Those should be interesting to see who's in the Elimination Chamber and what the Elimination Chamber is for. If it's for a title, if the champion's going to be, if CM Punk's going to be in the Royal Rumble. It's going to be interesting to see that. It's also another thing that's going to be interesting to see is where they go with this Masked Man storyline, because last time, this happened, it was Austin Theory, but he's with the Vision now. But I still think there's some chicanery going on. But it is going to be very interesting to see what they do within the next couple of months. We got April coming up. So within the next couple of months, for the booking. And with Elimination Chamber being, just a couple of weeks away, we'll see what they do, because I think that's the last PLE before the WrestleMania, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But of course, man, I want to thank y'all for coming through. Please make sure y'all like, subscribe, click that notification bell. So I do go live every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Fridays. I go live Friday with 3 Blurred Beats. Please make sure y'all check out 3 Blurred Beats. You know what I'm saying? Of course, once again, if you go to BlurredCon, please make sure you check out 3 Blurred Beats panel, man. We got it. We got a panel, y'all. I'm so happy. Y'all don't understand how excited I am. You know what I'm saying? To have this panel, to be a part of it. I'm not just excited for myself. I'm excited for the whole crew. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see Hitman Boogie, Drippy, Cool Dude Ross, Jay Stowe the Tiger. We're gonna have kids in the audience with the mic. You know what I'm saying? As the audience correspondent. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's gonna be live. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be great. Also, please make sure y'all check out the Contract Kill on Spotify. 3 Blurred Ninjas Network on Spotify. Make sure y'all check that out. Last week's episode will be on there. This week's episode will be on here as well. So please make sure y'all check that out. And I'm gonna go ahead, man, and get up out of here. I love y'all. Peace. See y'all next week. I'm outie.